Gopi Krishna sir, shall we start the session?
Yeah, ma'am. Yeah, please.
Thank you. Good afternoon to everyone present here. On behalf of Department of MCA, SR and Institute of Ramabram, I welcome you to this 2 weeks International Virtual PDP on Data Science, a revelation of the modern digital era. Today, we are in day 4 session of 2 weeks PDP. Today's session on enhancement of blockchain in data science will be handled by Mr. Gopi Krishna, software engineer, Walmart, Bangalore. May now invite event coordinator, Ms. Indumati, assistant professor, Department of MCA, to welcome the gathering.
A very warm good evening to one and all gathering here. Today is the 4th day of the successful event of International 2 weeks virtual PDP program conducted by Department of Computer Science and Applications, SRM-IST Ramabram, in association with CSA Chennai chapter. My sincere hearty welcome to Mr. Gopi Krishnan, software engineer from Walmart, Bangalore. Thanks for accepting our invitation, sir, and going to give a valuable inputs to the participants. We're going to be handling this session of blockchain in data science, and I would like to invite the participants from various institutions to join this session. Small intro about the data science. Data science in blockchain. Data science targets to construct a platform for retrieving business-centered insights from the data. See, blockchain allows digital information to be recorded and immutably distributed. Blockchain is impacting the data analytics industry. So it is used for the process that involves understanding, classifying, and monitoring blockchain transactions data that allows users to get valuable insights and helps with better risk assessments. Welcome once again, you sir. You are going to give the valuable session to all the participants. Once again, my hearty welcome.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot. Should I start?
Ma'am. Please, will, sir. Thank you, ma'am. May I invite Dr. Deepa, assistant professor, Department of MCA, to introduce our guest speaker, Mr. Gopi Krishna.
Good afternoon to one and all present here. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome our honorable chief guest, Mr. Gopi Krishnan, software engineer, Walmart at Chennai. Sir worked as a progressive application developer, Alexa developer, software engineer, and full stack engineer in various IT industries. In L&T Infotech Mumbai, he created a complete e-commerce website using Angular 2 and Node.js integrated with the database. Sir developed Alexa ability and chatbot in Lean Pitch Technologies, Bangalore, and he developed an innovative architecture for shopping basket empowered with an IoT gadget. He worked as a part of Honeywell Smart Cities team to create ground-breaking innovative ideas. Currently, Mr. Gopi Krishnan working as software engineer 3 in Walmart for international cost analysis team. He holds various certification programs, best paper awards, and publications. Especially, he created a patent in the name of Core Companion, which is highly useful for visually impaired people. We are happy to have such an eminent professionalist for this session. Thank you for accepting our invitation. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks for the introduction.
Yeah, I request you to take over the session, sir. Thank you.
Sure. Yeah, sure. I'll just share my screen and start. Can you please confirm whether my screen is visible or not?
Yes, it's visible, sir.
Okay. So thanks again for everyone who has joined and all the parties who have invited me here to deliver the session. So we're going to talk about 2 things today. One is blockchain, one is data science. These 2 different technologies and how they are combined at the industry level today. So the tagline of the session that we are going to be there for next 40 to 45 minutes It's like need to trust the data before performing any action on them. So data science is all about data, but what kind of data, which data is what we are going to talk today. So again, a big thanks to everyone, and it was a very big surprise to me because it's been since it's been long years since I have graduated. It's back again to college, so it gives me a lot of memories today. Once the session got started with, yeah, thanks a lot, team. Yeah, moving forward, the flow of the session, how this flow of the session would look like. The very first thing that we look into is the app section. The next one would be the data in the Wonderland. What is the Wonderland in terms of academics, in terms of software architects or developers in the industry? So that we'll look into. Then we have the tech that is currently in current world and what would be the future. Then we'll talk about why do we need blockchain or element of blockchain to enhance data science. The next portion would be a brief about how the blockchain is, what a blockchain is, how things are happening in and around, what kind of research is going on, what the industry is expecting. So that kind of things we'll be talking about. Then we'll move to the consequences of good data and bad data. Then finally, a small case study. And with that, we'll be closing up with this session. So yeah, starting with the app section. So I know, each one of us today are using a smartphone, and there are a lot of applications that we are using today, right? So I'd call each one of you to just open up your smartphone and see the amount of applications that you are using. We are using it daily, but we have not noticed what kind of applications we are using and why we are using these applications. So these are the few examples of application that most of the people have today in their mobile phones. So let's start with why we need these applications. So we have Flipkart, Amazon, Myntra, AJIO. These 4 applications are example of buying merchandise, clothing line, home electricals, home decors, everything here, right? So these 4 applications play eminent role today in ordering stuff. Rather than going to a general store and buying the merchandise, we are ordering stuff through online. So these companies have created a line of business around internet where they basically collect data of what a person is using. For example, let's talk about Flipkart. A 25-year-old goes to Flipkart and buys a hoodie, or he buys a light bulb for his home. So Flipkart knows there is a guy named X whose age is around 25 years and he lives in Ramapuram in Chennai. Okay, and he has bought a particular LED type bulb. So the Flipkart knows that these kind of bulbs have been bought in and around Ramapuram. So what it will do is it will increase the flow of the light bulbs in those areas. So this will keep on looking which places are required geographically. A lot of orders are coming in, and these data are stored in databases. Initially, all the companies will store all this data in the databases. And after that, there are machine learning engineers, data science engineers, data scientists, data engineers. These guys will pull the data from the database, they will utilize it, and they will do some kind of prediction. So this is what is done in Flipkart, Amazon, Myntra, AJIO. So using data science, all of the 4 companies have spiked their dollar value in terms of revenue by 100 times. So initially, when the company was started, the Amazon was started, they were selling only books. The books were the only items that were sold as part of Amazon. Today, Amazon is #1 company which sells a lot of things online. So the way the number of products comes into Amazon is not how what is required. It comes out based upon the need, and the need is actually collected from the users like us. Each one of us owns a mobile phone, and with this mobile phone, we go and search something. If you want to buy something, we go and search about it in Google Chrome or Mozilla Firefox, any kind of web browser. Then we go to respective websites like Flipkart, Amazon, and search for the particular product. Before searching it, we register ourselves, so the company knows who we are and what we are looking for. So once they know that we want to buy this item, and they'll start doing the advertising part. Some of you might have noticed, like going to Amazon or Flipkart, searching for certain product, then you go to your Gmail or you just go to some website where you're browsing, you could see the ads of those items there. All of this is happening in the background where your data is collected and again sold to you for making profit for those companies. So let's understand how this is happening in behind. So right now we talked about Flipkart, Amazon, and Myntra, right? So this is a part of all the items which a human requires. Now moving towards the next sense, that is taste. So in this, there are companies like Swiggy and Zomato who are delivering food items to the respective people depending upon what we order. So there are a lot of cloud kitchens available in cities like Bangalore, Chennai, who are delivering foods through these apps. But these apps not only just deliver foods. The actual motive of these apps is to understand the user, what kind of food he is eating. If it is 25 years old, he's going to gym, what kind of diet he is following. If it is 60-year-old, what kind of food it is required for them, what kind of health issues these people have, what kind of food, if they put it on a lower price or higher price, people will buy regardless of price. So all this analysis of data is happening behind, which we are not aware of. So moving to the next portion, that is the transportation part. So in terms of transportation, initially we used to own vehicles and we used to commute based upon our own need. But moving forward, the people who don't own a vehicle, or the people who doesn't have access to the means of transport through government or private, they started looking for some kind of solution. And that solution was given by Ola and Uber. So these companies, somebody's trying to speak. Okay, sure, thanks. So there are Ola and Uber companies which basically provides cabs to us depending upon our choices. But that's not what they are doing. What they are doing is they're collecting your. I'm sorry, somebody goes. So I think somebody is has to go on mute, please. Yeah. So what are these companies doing? Actually, they are collecting users' information where these people are right now, and and from where to where they are booking the cabs. When you're not using your even these applications, that time your location is collected to understand where in a geography where a lot of their customers are there, so that they can increase the number of cabs in those locations and they can search the prices. So this is how background work is happening around in and around the mobility industry. Then coming to the social part, Facebook, Instagram. These two are kind of more of an appreciated apps now today. Before that, we also had TikTok, which got banned. But these apps, right, make a large difference in terms of mentality in today's world. Being hit by COVID nearly for 2 years, we were almost stuck in the houses or the locations that we stay. So the most of the access towards the outer world was through these apps. So the two apps that helped us to connect with a lot of peoples and get to know about a lot of things, right? Those things can be related to the Instagram and Facebook. So Instagram and Facebook, are connecting people? I would say they are connecting people, but the actual motive of Instagram and Facebook is they are an advertisement platform. So what kind of user you are, what kind of photos that you're uploading, what kind of people you are following, what kind of posts you are putting a like, all this data is collected together, and they understand that what kind of things that you people like. For example, the people who are in lower middle class tend to look like rich a lot. So they understand, if you follow the people who are in the lower middle class, they follow a lot of people who are rich. So they understand how this lifestyle is. They know if you want to look rich, you have to wear this kind of shirt. You have to wear a Alan Solly shirt or a basic shirt. So this is how your mentality is being triggered by these companies in order to do a commerce. So this is a brief about the apps that we follow and how the data is being collected here. Any questions so far?
Participants, if you have any queries, you can post the queries in the chat box. Otherwise, sir will continue.
Okay. I hope it's not boring, but
Yeah, yes, yeah, that is, I think I can proceed with the session. So,
yeah. Okay, cool. So the next portion is we have seen the apps, but how this apps works actually. So this is because of internet. Internet is nothing but it's a communication between a lot of peers in the network, right? Each one of us is connected to a single channel, and this channel is giving us data back. So this is internet. So let's move to the next portion, which is data in the Wonderland. So what is data in the Wonderland? So I tried to name it fancy, but the actual point of putting it down here is what the 5 W's of data. What is data? Data is nothing but a structured or unstructured format of information which a user gives without knowing or with knowing. That is data. Next one is who owns the data. Basically, the data is owned by the respective personnel, but with his permission, his data is being transferred to different entities. Why it is important? It is important to know that where our data is traveling is because moving forward, there would be a clone of you. If you keep on giving out your data, there would be a digital clone who will be living your life somewhere else in this world with the same identities. So knowing your taste, knowing the way of living, knowing what you're doing per day, there could be a digital clone created which can do these kind of stuff similarly, and they can start predicting what can happen next. So this is why it is important to know where your data is going. So if it is going like this, where should we keep it? The data should be very much physically attached to a person. Either you put it in a hard drive and keep it away from internet, or you put it in internet and secure it with cyber security. It's up to the people who want to keep their data where. So this is how it's been done here. Then when to use the data. So we need to use the data depending upon the situations where it is required. For example, if you're going to Flipkart and going to search for certain item, there you have to enter the keywords. So that is where you need to do it, rather than keep searching on 10 browsers and then finally going to Flipkart. So that we can avoid. So these are the 5 W's of data. So let's see how the data's journey is in the web. So the internet started around early 1900s, right? So during 1990, it was called Web 1.0, where all the data, right, whatever we see on the web browser is just a data, like the public works information, the bus information, the train information. All this information were created as a table and they posted in online. So that was called Web 1.0, where the data is present in the web and you know what data it is and we know who owns it, but nothing happens on that. We can't you can't copy it, or you can't dump it like that. Then slowly the technology progressed, and by 2000, right, we came into Web 2.0, which is currently what we are in. Here all the information, right, each one of the data is collected by different peoples, knowingly, unknowingly. I keep this word saying knowingly and unknowingly because we are still giving data to a lot of people without knowing that we are giving them. So we have to be very precise about it. So understanding that, Web 2.0 created a big revolution. Everyone got connected in the internet. Everybody started talking to each other. Globalization happened. All the data started moving from one continent to another continent. And once the data got collected, right, in Web 2.0, people started understanding why the data is getting collected. So the very first nation to act on it was Europe, the Europe continent, where they introduced a law called GDPR. So GDPR is a law where it states that you can't collect users' data without their permission. You can only collect certain amount of data which is required for your business. So from then on, the Web 3.0 started, where everything was decentralized. Nothing was in a single place. All the data didn't go to a single place. It started moving to different parts, which was completely decentralized, and each decentralized unit was owned by a single person using private and public keys. So we are moving towards Web 3.0, and this Web 3.0 is called as blockchain. So just an overview of what we talked about. The most like in Web 1.0, the data was only read only. You can't read or write anything, just it was read only. It was more of a company focus. For example, let's take railways. So you only know where the trains are running from where to where. The railway is not concerned about you traveling or not. They just put the train details and the respective seat details. So similarly, when you move to Web 2.0, the data was able to read and write. It was more of a community focus. They started looking into people who wanted to travel into different locations. Like we have Ola and Uber. And Ola, Uber, we also had this daily passes, where the Ola and Uber will see whether you are traveling from one location to another location frequently. They have introduced the daily passes, where you can just buy the daily passes to decrease your prices like that. So that become community focus. And moving towards Web 3.0, all the data got personal. This is my data. I'm not going to give it to Google or Microsoft or Apple, any company, to use it against me or use it for me. If it is my data, I'm going to use it myself. So that is what Web 3.0 is talking about. It is more of an individual focus. Like if I want to travel, then only I'm going to do something. Otherwise, my data is with me only. So like that. So this is how Web 1.0, 2.0, and 3.0 came up. Any questions so far? Okay, sure. So far, no questions. So let me move forward. So now we are going to talk about something called as tech now and future. So what are the techs currently we have, and what are the tech is going to come forward? So I assume that most of the people might be associated towards a computer science background. So you people are the most important people in the complete ladder, the teachers, the professors, because that is the place where the actual research happens. Industry is something which does research, but it implements a lot. But the amount of research actually triggers, right? The trigger of research starts from the college phase. So these are the technologies which came into picture from colleges. So one is IoT, Internet of Things. Second, blockchain technology. Third one is artificial intelligence, which is a bigger umbrella, which consists of data science, machine learning, data analysis, data analytics, like that. Then we have cybersecurity. So you might think, why I have only chosen 4 technologies? There are a lot of technologies available. Why I have only chosen 4? The reason I chose only 4 is this is how the data is going to travel in future. So the data is with each and everybody. Everybody has the data. Now, how to collect this data? We need a technology to collect all of this data. That everybody is getting connected through internet. So Internet of Things is a technology which is going to collect data from each and everybody and put it into some place. And to know from which place we are reading data, we can trust the source where we can put the data or we can read the data. That trust, the audit, will be given by the blockchain technology. Nextly, we have the data there. We have got all the data stored. Now, how to make analysis, how to make predictive analysis, how to predict what's going to happen next, how to make insight generation. All of these things will be focused into artificial intelligence. Then we have the security part, where all of this data is being used. Let's say you have given your data to a particular company, and that company shouldn't misuse it. Or, for example, your banking password. You are logging into your mobile application. Nobody should hack it on the way, right? So for that, we request cybersecurity. This particular photograph, I have taken it from Professor Banaf Ahmed, who is actually a big professor of Stanford University in US. So I was doing a blockchain related course with him and was writing a research paper with him. So I read it from his book. This is one of the most inspiring diagram that I felt. So all of these 4 technologies will be requiring a lot of compute power. All this compute power, whichever we have today, is okay. But moving forward, the amount of data, the billions and trillions of data that we are going to analyze each and every hour, right? For that, we require a bigger compute power. And for that, we would be requiring quantum computing. So this is the tech that we have right now and how it can enhance our future. So to add few points here, like I told you, there will be billions of data that we are going to analyze. So as I work in Walmart and e-commerce place, the amount of data that we process in a single day, right, it comes around 70 to 80 million data points. So today itself, we are generating this many amount of data points, and we have to write data analytics algorithm in such a more prescriptive format that all of these data can be utilized easily. Right. So any questions? Okay, let me move forward. So next, what we are going to look into is why blockchain in data science, right? So there are two things, because a lot of people, a lot of the audience are from academic standpoint. So I thought of using these two words, the problem statement and the solution. So the problem statement is like the data science is more about in data. So if we look into, let's look into the data science life cycle. So what's happening in this data science life cycle? So first, we understand what is the need to collect data. Let's say we are writing an algorithm to find whether a particular person can get Alzheimer's disease or not. Okay, so that is our business understanding. So we will create an algorithm, which is a data science, a machine learning model or a data science model, which will predict whether this particular person can get Alzheimer's in future or not. Okay, so then what we do, the next part is data acquisition and understanding. We'll start acquiring data from different sources by doing different tests. It could be medical, it could be a regular test series kind of things. We will get all those data. Then we build a pipeline to publish all the data. It could be real-time data, which is becoming inside, or it could be a batch-wise data, depending upon the test series that we conduct. So once we have a pipeline in place, which takes all of these data and stores it in certain place, and that would be the environment. So it could be your the person who is conducting this research. It could be his machine, like his own laptop or computer, or it could be an online cloud solution where you can use data lake or databases. Data lake is kind of a technology where a lot of databases are linked together, combined together. Okay, so from this you'll understand whether how to implement big data there and get the most out of it. So once we have the data in place, the next would be we will clean up the data. We'll start cleaning up the data. There will be a lot of data points. It would be something would be good data, something would be bad data, something would be a neutral data. So we'll start cleaning up, making it in structured format or unstructured format to do the visualization. So once this is all about data acquisition and understanding. So once we have all this data, we acquire data, we'll start understanding it. First, we'll go through the data manually, and we'll understand, is there any link between the data? Is there any foresee that we can make there? Any kind of insight that we can look over there? So once this is all done manually, everything is done here, then we'll move to the next phase called modeling phase. In modeling phase, what we're going to do is we are going to use this data, and there are a lot of inbuilt already defined algorithms. We'll run those algorithms over this data in order to find some analysis there. So different kind of algorithms are there in terms of machine learning or data science. So we'll start running those algorithms in order to start analyzing this data. So the very first one will be the feature engineering, where we'll find some specific features or some specific key points from the data, which may indicate, which can tell us the potential candidate or potential person who can have the Alzheimer's disease. So with this, what we are going to look into is, once we get the data, the transformation, binding, the text formation, feature selection, image selection. So these are kind of a technical words that you people will, few of might be working with and few might be start working with. So these lookouts, right? These kind of words will tell you what actually the data is about. Once we have the data analyzed, then we'll start writing the algorithm. Algorithm is nothing but a set of code which will take the data as an input, run some kind of computations, understand based upon it, tune itself, and finally give you an output. So all this process which is happening inside it, right, that would be the coding process. All the coding process will happen here. So once we have a model in place which tells reading this data whether this person will get Alzheimer's or not. So once we have the model in place, we will send this model for cross-validation. There will be the data which we acquired, right? We might have divided that into 50-50. 50% for development of the model and 50% for testing that model. So once we have the model which we have developed using the 50% of data, we will pass it on to do the cross-validation using the other 50%. We use that, we create model reports. All this report is sent out to different data scientists and data engineers to read and understand whether the model is performing good or not. So once this testing portion is done, then the modeling phase is done. This model is taken up and put it into the deployment phase. Deployment phase is actually a phase where the capability of the machine learning or the data science is exposed to the real world through a website or a web service or an application, something like that. So once it is done, it is put down into the real world through deployment. Once we have the deployment in place, all of this data which is in the background, powered by the model, will be on web, where the end customers can use it. So once the end customers start using it, the reports are generated to understand whether the model which was made is performing good or not. So once the model is performing good, the data which the customers enter is added to the data set to enhance the performance of the model. And the customer acceptance is much more required portion in terms of industry, because in industry, everything is a dollar value. So starting from the business understanding to the customer acceptance, the company puts on dollar on developers, on machine learning engineers, enthusiasts, data scientists, data engineers, in order to create the solution so that they can start making dollars from that. So end customer acceptance is much more required in terms of industry. Okay, so coming back. So now we understood what a data science lifecycle is. So in terms of industry, everything is a dollar value. So we have to be very much sure that the solution is going to work. So creating the solutions, right, the data which we get it, right, as part of medical test or real-time test or test series, right, these data has to be validated much and must, because no kind of fake data or no kind of bad data shouldn't be there. If it is there, it is going to destroy the complete process. So that is where the blockchain is used there. The trust, which gives a trust to the users that the data inside it is actually correct, or data inside it is actually is what it has been stored previously. Nothing has been tampered. So that is the problem statement. How we are going to use blockchain in order to enhance the data science part. The solution would be the blockchain that we'll look into the next slides, how the solution has been altered. So this is a simple diagram that very high level users outside, the layman people use it to understand how the data science is working. So once we create a product, the number of users keep on increasing to it. The more data is collected. Once the data is getting more, the algorithm or the model which you got created becomes more smarter, and which gives a better product. So example of all of these is, nowadays there is a trend of using this diet apps, right? We have Healthify, then Smartions, Smart, like this. There are different kind of apps which is used for workouts and diet today. So for each and every people, the diet is going to get differ, but there is a common thin line between each and everybody's diet. So number of data points that we know, like let's say Chennai. Let's take Chennai and let's take Bangalore. So both are South Indian cities, but the way the food is consumed, the time when the food is consumed, it's all different in terms of Chennai and Bangalore. So Chennai is a bit hotter and Bangalore is a little bit colder. So the food also varies, which kind of food that we consume. So all these diet apps, right, they collect these data, like at morning, what did you have? In evening, what did you have? So we give those data in order to do calorie management. So we give the data to them. So with this, they do the analysis and they give diet charts based upon your geography locations, based upon what kind of body type you are, what kind of age you are. So when the people keep on increasing, the more the data they get, the more they become enhanced. Okay. So this is how the actual data is making the apps more smarter. This is one piece of an example. Right. So yeah. So as we have seen this data science life cycle, there are a few points that I have to put down here, which I missed. So during this deployment phase, right? So deployment phase is like one keyword that you people might hear if you want to go into research in data science or machine learning, right? Something called as ML ops, machine learning ops. So ML ops is one of new upcoming, not upcoming, it's there in the market, but it's kind of a very niche market. So the people who have idea of deployment and all, right, they can, if you want to be in a very good high paying job, ML ops is the solution there. Okay, that's just an add-on point here. Now let's look deeper into how the data is being used and what kind of problem that we encountered, which we solve with blockchain. So let's say there is a user of 25 years whose age is around 25. He goes to Amazon and searches for a product. Let's say he searches for a MacBook laptop. Okay, and it is this particular data is stored in Amazon's search detail database. So this is the database which stores those search details. Like it says, a guy of age 25 has searched for a MacBook, latest MacBook, and which costs around 1 lakh rupees. Okay, then the Amazon will keep looking in the same age range or same region. How many people are looking for that particular MacBook? So this could happen before Apple's launch event, where the Apple launches the laptop, or it could happen after that. So all these things matters there. So it will keep looking how many people are searching for it and looking for that. How many people are putting those items into the their bags, their checkout cart. So with that, what Amazon will do is Amazon will understand the flow, the trend in year 2021. It will understand when people are searching for the particular product and how the searches are happening. Is it happening on day? It is happening on night. If it is happening on night, what actually happened in US on morning that day, or what is happening in US at that time? If it is happening in day here, what happened on in different countries? So these all data are used to understand whether this MacBook laptop, Apple MacBook laptop, should be kept as a stock or not. So inventory management is also done based upon these kind of data analysis and analytics. So what it does is the Amazon stores in the database. There are algorithms which are there for data science, which will run and understand, and it will start putting so much of they will create the inventory and put it in Amazon, and they will tell how much to show in the Amazon's website. Not only Amazon, all the companies does that. Okay, so the inventory management also happens there. Here I have taken Amazon as an example, but it's not sure that this is the same way they do it. Let's take it, not only Amazon, all the e-commerce companies do like this. Okay, so let's say moving forward, if a person is telling the Amazon not to store my search details, so search details cannot be stored. Now, when there is no data, when the data keep on coming down, we understood that the model that we create for data science, the machine learning model, right, that actually requires a lot of data. If data keep on coming down, then the model will be failure. So there will be no data science happening. The data scientist can't pull data, and it can't suggest Amazon that how to stock it, or which person to refer to, which person to tell that you can buy this stuff, and to whom they should give offer. So all of this business model crashes. So Amazon's, not only Amazon's, all the e-commerce websites profit goes down. So as I told before, industry is all about dollar value. If you can't keep your dollar value up, there will be a problem. So this is the problem which comes in when user tells not to use my data. So the very initial stage, we learned about Web3, right, where user keep holds of his data. European Union has introduced these kind of laws in recent years, Now, most of the countries are following. Once this becomes a law in each country, even our government is following up to bring up data privacy. So once the data privacy comes in, right, it would be a big problem for a lot of industries to make sales. So for this, what accommodations, what happened was, industry came back to college. They started doing some kind of research, and they finally found a solution called blockchain. So blockchain is nothing but it's a technology. Let's consider it's a technology. So it's a technology which stores data for now. Okay, it stores data for now, but it ensures user that your data has not gone anywhere. Your data is not be everywhere. The user an ability to either grant the data to go any point of time. So the Amazon will not store this data here. The user itself, and data we can machine learning. We can do this machine learning or data science stuff, and we can using that we can put it into different e-commerce sites. So here, the respective company is not holding the data. The user is holding the data. The user will be getting paid for whatever he is giving. For data science job, he is giving some data. For that, he'll be getting paid. So that is how the Web3 is transforming into. Okay, okay. I know this is so much to take. Is there any questions so far? Thank you. So let me move forward. So now let's talk about what is blockchain in brief. Okay, so I'll just read the statement here, then I'll explain how this is happening. Blockchain is nothing but a distributed database existing on multiple computers at the same time. It is constantly growing as new set of recordings or something called as block is added to it. Each block contains a timestamp and link to the previous block. So they actually form a chain. So it actually forms a chain. So currently we have a single database, right? Let's say you use Access Bank for keeping your money. Access Bank has a centralized server which has a database which will have your name and your customer ID and your respective balance in that table. Okay, but this is owned by Access Bank. So let's say not Access Bank, let's say it's a bank called X. Okay, so the bank X is holding that information. What if the bank X changes the value in the table? Instead of 100 rupees in your account, it says that it is there only 99.9 rupees. So you have to accept it. You can't go back and if you can apply, you can put a case in the court. It will go for, they will appear, you will appear. These things will go. But what if the big entity starts to tell you that this is not your data, this is what your data is. But you know you had 100 rupees, but you have only 99.9 rupees now. That's 1 paisa difference. 1 paisa difference for each for thousands of accounts. Think about it. How much money? So for that trust purpose, what we did was, we don't trust a single database. There are a lot of computers which connect to a single chain. Like you people might have heard about Bitcoin, then Ethereum. So these are the cryptocurrencies. So similarly, these currencies have blockchain, a separate chain for them. So there are a lot of computers connected to it. Okay, each one of the computer will have this data, but in a cached format, not in a simple format. It would be in a cached format where people will not understand what data it is, but all the computers will have this data. So whenever you're retrieving data from that blockchain, right, the 51% of the computers in the chain, in that particular blockchain, what it's going to tell, that is truth. So let's say there are 100 computers. So 51 computers are going to tell that you have 100 rupees, and other 49 computers are telling you have only 99.9 rupees. 100 rupees is the truth. You people might think, what if 51% of the computer will say wrong? It is not going to happen, because hacking 51% of the computer in a chain is not much of a possible work today. So here the problem of hacking gets solved, and we know that larger audience have the data. So we also understand the trust that this much amount of people are telling this is true, then this has to be true. So the trust, the audit, the cybersecurity part, everything comes with blockchain here. And we also have to record here the timestamp, the time when your data is going into the blockchain, and before that, what was the data, everything is linked. So you have the history, you have everything there. You can put data into blockchain, but you can't delete the data in the blockchain. So that is a major plus for blockchain here. Okay. So let's have a simple example here. So let's say we have two people, Alice and Bob, who want to send money between, who want to transfer some kind of money between them. So there is one block created which will store the information by Alex, that I'm Alex, I have this much amount of rupees in my account, and I want to send this much amount of data to this much amount of rupees to Bob. So this block is created here, the transaction block. This is sent to the network where a lot of computers are connected. All the 100 computers are connected. For example, 100 computers are connected. Each one will review this, whether Alice had that 100 rupees or not, whether he's sending to Bob or not. Each one of will be doing it. So once all the computers in the network approve it, once their approval comes in, the transaction is completed, and the respective block which was made with the reference ID, it will be stored in the blockchain. So here the authorizing party is more, which increases a lot of trust as well as security to it. So once transaction complete, it will be displayed in both of Alice and Bob's end. So this is how blockchain actually secures data here. Okay. So there are different types of blockchain. I'm sorry. So different type of blockchain available right now in the industry. One is permissioned blockchain. Another one is permissionless blockchain. Okay. So permissionless blockchain is like in public chain. Anybody can enroll to that particular chain and they can store data. They can become a node in that network. Permissioned one is like only certain computers will be allowed. So that is owned by a single intranet and extranet here. So internet is available for everyone. But in terms of intranet, right, only your particular college will, inside your college only you can access those things. Outside that, you can't access it. So similarly, it's the same thing here. So there is also a hybrid way to do it. So for example, in public chain, right, we have Ethereum, Bitcoin, Litecoin, Filecoin, like that. In permission, we have Hyperledger Fabric, IBM's blockchain. So these companies work there. So these are different kind of blockchains available there, which can be utilized. So after this, let's come to the data part. So it's more of a data, right? We are talking about data science here today. So let's come to the data part here. So what actually blockchain does? It enables the traceability of data. Blockchain has all the data points. When the data got into the blockchain, what kind of modification happened, when it got modified, who modified it, why it was modified, when the data was accessed by somebody. So all these kind of information is there in blockchain, which helps us to trace where the the data is. So in terms of data science, when we want whether model that we are going to develop to predict the person is going to get Alzheimer's or not, we have to understand whether the data which is coming in is correct or not, whether this data only the person has given test for. If a person has given, person A has given a test for medical test as well as test series, his data only should be coming to the model in order to understand whether this person will get or not modified or tampered by some other's data, right? So for that, the data trace blockchain. Next, makes a real-time analysis possible. So how this is possible is, so blockchain is kind of open chain and post data to it, I mean, with a particular content, and it has been verified by a lot of people. So as it is in the internet, it can accumulate as much amount of data as much amount of data it can, and at the same time it can be retrieved. So that is why it is called as real-time analysis. Then we have it ensures data accuracy. The reason I put this the portion here is it ensures data accuracy is, we know the data which came into blockchain is true because we have only put those data, or we have collected and put it there. Nobody's hacked it or nobody has tampered it. So what data it was there, it is only going to come out. So that makes the data accuracy part here. Then we have data sharing in a smoother way. So we have this data sharing in a smoother way because we own the data. Even it is there in blockchain, owns the data because he only has the private key. So with that, you can send it to anybody you want. You don't have to put a middleman in between you, so that you can send to that middleman. The middleman send to the respective person. So it's all from your end. So that is more smoother. Okay. Then we have data integrity. Data integrity, same as data accuracy. It's the same data. It is not hackable. So it has the data integrity part here. Moving forward. Yeah. Any questions? I know I have moved a lot of slides here. Any questions? Okay, thank you. So moving forward, let's talk about what happens if the data is not clear. Okay, so when a poor data comes in, so it is actually results in the revenue loss. As I told you before, everything is a dollar value here. So we can't tolerate the revenue. We can't tolerate the revenue part. So for that, we have to keep in mind that all the data which comes in is correct. Nobody's hacked it and tampered it. So for that purpose, data quality is very, very important. If some data gets tampered or a wrong kind of data comes in, which is not from the correct source, right? We don't know the source, but we are still using the data. In that case, we know that there will be inaccurate results. So predictive analytics is much of an upcoming field, not upcoming, it's there in the field. It has been used a lot. Previously it was called insight generation. Now we do it as a predictive analytics to understand what's coming in the near future. So all of this will go down into a wrong path if the correct data, the correct source has been not identified for the data. Then the damaged reputations and fines. It's true. If you're going to predict, let's say you are a healthcare company and you're giving diet charts used based upon your users' data. If you're not able to give a correct diet chart, it might result in a wrong way. People might have different diets and they might get some kind of illness because of wrong diet and all. So it is very, very important to hold the data and understand the data before utilizing it. So it can damage the company's healthcare company's reputation, as well as it can put down into a lot of legal actions, a lot of fines. It can be imported. So this is very, very important. So it all comes about three things. The single thing at last is the dollar value. Yeah, and finally, the last slide of this session would be the case study. So what kind of case study has been done before, and understanding and looking into the data science places where a lot of things have gone wrong. The big companies like IBM, which has its own Watson data analytics algorithm. Watson is a project which IBM runs for medical sciences. So it is one of a hit, but there were still problems during the development for data science and machine learning in IBM. So its report stated that nearly $3.1 trillion rupees got really bad because of the data here. So this is how it happened in IBM. So similarly, there are a lot of things happen. Like the data quality solution is in big forum in US, where they see that even if a single wrong data comes in, it actually costs much more than making a wrong decision. That much amount of thing has happened there. So if a wrong data comes in, there is a lot of time which got consumed in consuming the data. That actually puts a lot of people's job in risk. A lot of professionals theory or academicians research and risk. So these are the few case studies that if some bad data comes into the picture. Yeah. So to remove bad data, to make your data safe before doing any kind of analytics or data science on top of it, you have to trust the source. So that source can be trusted through blockchain. Yeah. So I think the very first slide, which said the tagline of the session, need to trust the data before performing any action on them. So that is where the blockchain lies in with data science. That's all about the session here, guys. Ma'am,
Yeah, yes, sir. Is there any questions from the participant side? You can post your questions in the chat box.
it's negative, I guess, ma'am.
Kind attention to the participants. We have posted the feedback link, the chat window. Kindly provide your valuable feedback in the feedback. If there is any question, kindly post it in the chat box, or you can unmute yourself and ask the question. Okay. Okay, may I now invite Dr. Papita Christopher, Assistant Professor, Department of MCA, to propose the vote of thanks.
Good evening, all. I deem it a great honor and privilege to propose the vote of thanks on this memorable occasion. First of all, start by giving my gratitude to the Almighty God for spending his valuable time amid us today. I express my sincere gratitude to the management for providing opportunity to conduct this virtual PDP program, and I thank you, our management, for being a strong pillar of support in all our endeavors. My heartfelt thanks to our Dean, College of Science and Humanities, SRM Institute of Science and Technology, Ramapuram, Vice Principal Academics, Vice Principal Admin, and our Head of the Department, Department of MCA, for their never-ending guidance and support. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to all the resource persons of the various technical sessions and the delegates for their enthusiastic participation in this professional development program. I acknowledge the unwavering support received from the faculty members and non-teaching staff. My sincere thanks to all the participants from various colleges overwhelming response. My special thanks to our young and dynamic students of MCA and BCA Data Science for their contribution. We assure the sessions ahead will be more beneficial and informative to all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I request the participants to provide your valuable feedback in the feedback link provided in the chat box. Thank you, Gopi Krishna sir. Your session is really informative, and thanks for spending your time with us today.
Sure, ma'am. Thanks a lot. And just the end word from my side is like, you people are the teachers. Please keep looking on the research part, which is very important, because
Sure,
one particular teacher who actually told me to go on. I'm here today because of two of my professors, actually, Dr. Ramalakshmi and Dr. Ram. So both of them has made me come here. So similarly, you people can make peoples to go to the greater heights. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for giving me this.
Always create wonders.
Yeah.
Thanks.
True.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, ma'am. I'd like to read the feedbacks, ma'am, if it is possible to send me those feedbacks.
Sure. We share the feedback Excel sheet to you.
Sure. Yeah.
Definitely. Thanks a lot. Thanks.
Thanks, everyone. Yeah. Thanks.